Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Mary Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up in this week's top stories, Taiwan Tzu Chi volunteers traveled to the Philippines to coordinate the assembly of prefab homes in Ormoc City. Singapore Tzu Chings performed the musical adaptation of Sutra of Profound Gratitude Towards Parents at the Nanyang Technological University. And finally, Tzu Chi volunteers reach out to the global Chinese community to help a young leukemia patient find a successful donor. In the Philippines, Tzu Chi Foundation is erecting 2,000 prefabricated homes in Ormoc City for residents displaced by last year's Typhoon Haiyan. 23 volunteers from Taiwan also arrived in the Philippines to teach and coordinate the assembly process. Many local residents willingly offered to lend their assistance, hoping to play a part in rebuilding their community, homes, and lives.
Typhoon, no? Super typhoon yung nangyari. Yung parating dito, no? Nag-worry na si Master Ching yan.
Ormoc City residents listen intently as Tzu Chi volunteers convey a message from Master Zheng Yan. This time, the Buddhist NGO is not here to carry out a distribution, but to unite everyone's strength and effort.
In the days after Typhoon Haiyan, I heard many people say many positive things about Tzu Chi, and that volunteers distributed consolation cash to help the survivors. Tzu Chi's efforts were recognized by many. I've been residing in the government's temporary shelters, and I've also received rice from Tzu Chi.
The Tzu Chi Foundation aims to erect 2,000 prefabricated homes in Ormoc, and this time around, 84 local residents signed up for the Cash for Work program to lend a hand. Working in collaboration, some moved bricks while others carried building materials under the scorching sun.
We are currently residing in temporary shelters, and there are many families crammed under one roof. I came here hoping to contribute my strength. I hope we can move into the prefabricated homes soon.
We want to dispel the misconception that we are here to promote politics or religion. We want to let them know that Tzu Chi gives without expecting anything in return. So we hope this will put the residents' minds at ease.
The afternoon thunder shower quickly turns dirt roads into mud. Ongoing discussions can be heard coming from this corner. Teaching locals how to assemble Tzu Chi's prefabricated homes, volunteers encounter challenges from day one.
You have to make sure the angle is 90 degrees, otherwise the house won't be straight. Each of the corners needs to be 90 degrees.
Fortunately, with the help of local volunteers, language and cultural barriers were no longer an issue.
Although there is a language barrier, through the volunteers' demonstrations, we were able to grasp what they are trying to teach us.
With a pen and piece of paper in hand, local residents listen attentively and take notes. Some even decided to give it a try, which is ultimately the purpose of the volunteers' visit.
We want to let them try their hand at assembling a house based on what we have just shown them. The master reminded us again before we left that we should pass on our skills to them and make sure they understand. This is the main purpose of our visit.
These prefabricated homes came all the way from Taiwan. We will soon have a place to call home, so I'm quite happy.
With everyone working together, the prototype house is almost complete. In the near future, Typhoon Haiyan survivors will soon have a place they can call home.
Related to our last story, in Taiwan, some 30 members of the Tzu Chi Police Association and their family members gathered in Sansha, New Taipei City to assist with the packaging of the building materials for the prefabricated homes destined for the Philippines.
Moving aluminum bars cautiously, today some 30 members of the Tzu Chi Police Association, along with their families, are in Sansha to volunteer their time and share their love.
We police officers are all extremely happy to lend our assistance to Tzu Chi's prefabricated housing project. We're responding to Master Zheng Yan's call for us to pay the love forward.
bending over to lift the aluminum poles. Given their weight, volunteers have to work as a team to complete the task. Among the group is a Dharma master who also joins the association in watching the master's morning lecture and volunteering.
I feel really joyous and happy to take part in the work.
Since its establishment some 20 years ago, the Police Association has attracted many like-minded individuals to help and care for those in society.
We have brought Tzu Chi's spirit of great love, as well as its 4 main missions and 8 footprints, into their workplace, opening their hearts in the process.
Carefully packaging the building components, volunteers hope the prefabricated houses may soon provide displaced residents in the Philippines with a shelter to call home.
Moving to Vietnam, to reciprocate Tzu Chi's love and care, in a recent scholarship awards ceremony in Bien Đông province, scholarship recipients brought back their bamboo coin banks to donate to the less fortunate. Many parents of former scholarship recipients also gave back by helping out at the event.
A scholarship is a blessing for children of poor families, providing them with hopes for a better future.
We have a very difficult life, and I want to thank Tzu Chi on behalf of my whole family. Both my husband and I are blind, and he has to sell lottery tickets every day to make a living.
If we let her go, we don't know who will raise her. After I had cancer, I was thinking of how to find someone who could take care of her and let her continue with her studies.
Some students consider giving up school and finding work to support their families. As such, many lack confidence at school. Our support can help give them courage to go on.
178 elementary, middle, and high school students received scholarships over the course of the ceremony. Tzu Chi volunteers also took the opportunity to pass on their message of love. It is the 6th year that Tzu Chi has been providing scholarships in this region, and these seeds of goodness have started to bear fruit.
I appreciate Tzu Chi's help. I will save money for buying books and for helping others.
Among the volunteers are those who have received support from Tzu Chi previously. As they work together to set up the venue and prepare for the distribution, they are more than pleased to be able to finally give back and form a new cycle of love.
Staying in Vietnam's Bien Đông province, to help impoverished children with a chance at an education, local college students began to tutor these kids. The college students also contacted Tzu Chi volunteers who soon after offer monetary aid and other necessities for the children.
Vietnam Tzu Chi volunteers are preparing to give children from poor families a pleasant surprise. The cookies and drinks provided by the Tzu Chi volunteers are like something out of a dream for these children. Due to their poor upbringing, the children have to sell lottery tickets during the day to make a living. They usually come to class in the evening with empty stomachs. College students of Chu Damo University and Binh Duong University offer free lessons so the children can get an education. They are also the ones that contacted Tzu Chi.
We're very happy after hearing that the Tzu Chi volunteers are willing to provide assistance.
In addition to providing tuition aid, Tzu Chi volunteers also distribute daily necessities. But most importantly, through the lyrics of the song One Family, volunteers are planting seeds of goodness in the young minds. Tzu Chi volunteers are few in number in Vietnam, but they remain steadfast in their commitment to assisting the needy, providing education for poor children and caring for children with AIDS.
I'm really grateful. I want to thank Tzu Chi on behalf of all teachers and students. Please come visit us more often. It is not necessary to bring gifts on your next visit. We just want the warmth and care of the Tzu Chi volunteers.
Với lớp thôi thì ban tổ chức thì giáo viên cũng như học sinh lớp học tình thương là cảm thấy hạnh phúc lắm rồi.
Recently, Singapore Tzu Chings put on a musical adaptation of the Sutra of profound gratitude towards parents at the Nanyang Technological University. To encourage the members of the public to express their gratitude to their parents, Tzu Chi volunteers set up booths where participants could offer a cup of tea or write a card to their parents. First, let's join one of the performances.
Buses slowly arrived in front of the auditorium of Nanyang Technological University in Singapore. Here, local Tzu Chings are putting on a performance of the musical adaptation of the Sutra of profound gratitude towards parents. Among the audience of today's performance is Singapore's Minister of Education and the spokesperson of the Taipei Representative Office.
People in the city have a very fast pace of life and often forget that they need to fulfill their filial duties. Youngsters play a major role in social development. I'm extremely touched to see that so many of them have dedicated their time to put on these performances. This is also the first time Tzu Chings are holding large-scale Sutra adaptation at Nanyang Technological University. The performances were well received by professors and students alike.
Many students had used their spare time over the past 4 months to practice. What they did was very meaningful, and I'm deeply touched by their enthusiasm. I believe their spirit has inspired many in the audience.
In just 2 days, a total of 4,250 people attended the performances. Watching the musical along with her students is Hongwen School teacher Ling Mei Lan. It was hard for me to explain the concept of filial piety to my students in school. After watching the musical adaptation, I believe they now have a better understanding of the concept. After watching the musical adaptation, many in the audience have realized the importance of fulfilling their filial responsibilities.
After the musical, I try to be more mindful when I face my parents. I'm thinking of calling back home more, letting them know how well I'm doing here.
Meanwhile, outside of the performance hall, Tzu Chi volunteers have set up booths where members of the public can express their thanks by writing a postcard to their parents. I am currently working in Singapore, so I seldom have the chance to go home and visit my parents. I still want to wish them happiness and good health. Besides writing postcards, many also offer their mother a cup of tea. My mother will always be the best mom. I will love you forever and always be by your side. Offering a cup of tea to his 90-year-old mother is Hong Wenxiang, who is here with his siblings. Hong says regardless of his mother's age, the whole family still enjoys an outing every week.
I think it is a blessing that we can still go out together, especially because my mother is already very old. I love you, Mom. Thank you for raising us. If I don't fulfill my filial duties now, I won't have a chance to do so in the future.
Whether it is a cup of tea or a handwritten card, many are inspired to seize every chance to fulfill their filial duties in gratitude for their parents.
More on the Singapore Tzu Ching Sutra performance. In order to obtain a better understanding of the Buddhist scripture, many Tzu Chings adopted vegetarian diets to strengthen their performance.
With more people, we can become stronger. We sincerely invite you to join our group.
As Singapore Tzu Chings prepare for their upcoming performance of the Sutra of Profound Gratitude Towards Parents musical, they are inviting their classmates to join them. And by studying the Sutra, some students have begun to change.
Auntie, rice noodle and dry bean curd to go, please.
Chen Youyi tried to become a vegetarian once, but was unable to resist the temptation of fish cakes. However, after joining the Sutra performance, she learned that all lives are equal, which strengthened her resolve to be a vegetarian.
The temptation to eat meat surfaces often, but we should look at the matter from a different perspective and ask ourselves if we really have the right to eat animals. We don't.
慢一点，再慢一点。你拉，对。
Xu Zisheng used to be addicted to video games and often returned home late, disregarding his parents' care and concern. He also often complained while caring for her sick mother. It took her death for him to realize the errors of his way.
I really regret that although I took care of my mother, I never really sympathized with her pain. I just fed her medicine when needed, and then did my own things, hoping that she would not bother me again. That was the attitude I had.
总之，你没有看到他180，你就是一直很担心，不知道会怎么样到生产的那一天。
Through participating in the performance, Zisheng now understands the unconditional love of parents. Though now unable to reciprocate his mother's love, he honors her spirit of helping others by volunteering at the Tzu Chi Free Clinic Center every month.
We should treat all sentient beings we encounter as our parents. Treat everyone equally from the bottom of your heart. That is the true meaning of filial piety.
The performance is more than simply presenting the story of the Sutra. It also gives these young performers a chance to reflect upon themselves and make changes in their lives.
In the United States, in June of this year, 38-year-old Alex Tung from Los Angeles, California, was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, a relatively rare cancer. If Alex does not receive a hematopoietic stem cell transplant by the end of November, his chances of survival are slim. Thus, Tzu Chi volunteers are appealing to the Chinese community, both locally and abroad, for donors to come forward and save the life of this promising young man.
My son and I are very close. He is 38 this year. We lead a very peaceful life, one that is filled with much joy and hope.
A mother's dream of a simple life was shattered 3 months ago when Alex Tung discovered lingering bruising and red blotches on his legs. From that moment on, it seemed as if fate was catching up.
The doctor told me my white blood cell count was at 217,000. Usually, when your white blood cells are that high, it means you have leukemia. Immediately, what was going through my mind was how I was going to break the news to my mom, because telling her would be the hardest thing for me to do.
In love with surfing and the ocean, at first, Alex could not believe he was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. Hospitalized and currently receiving chemotherapy treatment, Alex has yet to receive news of a matching donor.
The doctor came by this morning and told us there was no matching donor in their registry. City of Hope contacted their affiliated institutions, but also came back with nothing. Then this afternoon, I received a call from Sister Deborah, who told me Tzu Chi's donor registry also came up empty. I couldn't believe it. The seriousness of it really hit me then.
Once all 4 phases of chemotherapy treatment is complete by the end of November, if there is still no matching donor, Alex's condition will continue to deteriorate. The family is praying for a miracle.
Those between the ages of 18 and 40 can register. I hope that I will be able to find a matching donor in the coming months. There are many Chinese people in the world like me who are also in need of a transplant, but unable to find a match. If we can encourage more people to register, we can help more people treat their illness.
Hoping to one day return to the ocean again, Alex is not giving up hope. Determined to win his battle, he hopes to appeal to more people to come forward to show their love and support.
While some might think vegetarian diets cannot provide enough nutrients, this is not the case for two children studying at the Tzu Chi Johor Bahru Kindergarten in Malaysia. 4-year-old Liu Hongzhen has been a vegetarian since he was just a fetus in his mom's womb, while 6-year-old Xie Luyue began eating vegetarian food when she was just 9 months old.
It is mealtime in the Liu family, and 4-year-old Liu Hongzhen is enjoying his lunch.
You ate all of it and there's nothing left for mom. Eat a mouthful of rice porridge and then a mouthful of vegetables. Eat some rice porridge first.
Hongzhen is a student at the Tzu Chi Johor Bahru Kindergarten in Malaysia. He enjoys vegetables more than other children. It all started when he was still in his mother's womb, as his mother is also a vegetarian.
He likes broccoli, snap peas, and mushrooms. I usually cook them with little oil, salt, and sugar.
As the whole family has adopted a healthy vegetarian diet, Hongzhen's mother takes great care in selecting and preparing their meals. Besides picking vegetables of different colors, she also avoids food additives and picks healthy snacks.
Sometimes I give them various grains, nuts, or raisins. They enjoy those foods.
6-year-old Xie Liyue is another student at the Tzu Chi Johor Bahru Kindergarten that is a vegetarian. Despite her meatless diet, she has just as much energy as her classmates. She also encouraged her classmates to also become vegetarians.
If you love your mother, then you should love animals' mothers. If you love kids, then you should love animals' kids too.
She likes cabbage and mushrooms. She is like a natural-born vegetarian, as she enjoys mushrooms and dark-colored vegetables, such as seaweed, which is her favorite.
Xie Liyue began adopting a vegetarian diet when she was only 9 months old. Now only vegetarian condiments are used in the kitchen in her home, and Xie Liyue's mother has become a vegetarian as well.
We are healthier now and can recover faster after being sick. Our immune system is stronger.
The two children are a testimony that vegetarian diets will provide sufficient nutrients, as both children are growing up healthy and strong. They have also demonstrated a growing respect and compassion for life.
In the past 15 years, the Tzu Chi Hospital has long formed a partnership with Fuding Hospital in Fujian, China, as part of Tzu Chi's medical mission to alleviate suffering of the poor. We head to the hospital at the end of today's show as they prepare to celebrate these 15 years of partnership. Thank you for watching. See you next week.